Thank you so much for this privilege and honor of serving as your president. My time on the COA Board of Trustees has been wonderful. I had a passion, excitement each step of the way. I thank all of these leaders that we've recognized before me. I've been a member of COA now for, I think I just got my 40th plaque. And I've had an opportunity to see each one of those who have led us over those many years, and it's truly very humbling for me to be following in their footsteps. So thank you very much. I'm very pleased I would like to introduce to you my family that is here. My wonderful wife, Sue, and my son, Nathan. And his wife Tori, and our two grandsons Ethan and Aiden. Thank you so much for being here. This is an extremely special day for me to thank all of you. And I'd especially like to thank my friends and colleagues from my society, Sacramento Valley, for being here each step of the way as I've been on the board. Especially, I have just really experienced their support and their friendship. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate that. I would like to recognize our newly immediate past president, Dr. Dubik. Dr. Dubik has led our association this past year with a commitment and enthusiasm second to none. He's taken an extraordinary number of days out of his office and away from his family to represent our association at the state capitol. Many of you may not know the days he's taken out are extremely high. I'm going to say 30 to 40 to 50 days. He's been so totally committed. He's provided excellent leadership for our Board of Trustees and for our association with expertise and insight, and has allowed all of us to keep moving forward with energy and determination. Thank you very much, Dr. Dubik. So we have a lot on our plate. We have just 2 or 3 things that immediately come to mind. We have our 492 redefinition of optometry legislation. We have the Affordable Care Act and healthcare reform. We dodged the bullet, perhaps, on ICD-10. That will be here in another, year and a half or so. We also have our efforts to become integrated into the healthcare systems in many different ways for providing medical eye care services. Those are just a few of the top ones. Our plate is full, and I'm looking forward to leading in this really exciting and significant time. So I have actually 5 priorities. I want to share with you my priorities for my year as president. And number 1 is membership. Because it all starts with our members. Without you, the members, nothing would happen. None of this would be possible. We made some great strides this year. We've been very strategic about addressing membership, and we've had some really good returns. As you've heard earlier, we've had some much greater returns now than we have had in a number of years. And it's still an effort that each one of us need to be a part of to invite our friends, our colleagues to join this great effort. When we talk about membership, 2 things come to mind. First thing is legislative activity, because we exist to protect and maintain our licenses and to be a voice of capital. So one of our primary goals is to be legislatively active. And as our other lobbyist, Terry McHale, has said on a number of occasions, he said, an active legislative member is a strong COA member. And I'm just going to say, if there are those of you here who have not been at a Ledge Day, if you've not been in a visit with your legislator, I was there, and not really so long ago. I would encourage you to find someone who has been there that can take you along with them, and it'll change your professional life. It was a game changer for me. After a visit or two, you'll actually experience the fact that you're going into their home again. And I always like to say, and I've been to several national conferences, advocacy conferences in Congress, and it's, I believe, very significant that our country has been founded on, and in our Constitution, we have the right as citizens to petition our government. When we go into those halls, whether it's Washington, D.C. or Sacramento, the doors are open to us. They're unlocked. We can walk in and we can freely petition those that represent us. And so many countries do not have that same privilege. There's just no way for people to have that type of petition. So join me. I'd love to talk with you each individually. If you have a desire to do that, I'd love to do that. Dr. Redmond can also do that. But it'll change your life. It's an exciting prospect. The second thing that comes about for membership, in my mind, is the nature of our profession. We're unique as a profession. We have this camaraderie. We have this passion. We have an identity that, you know, we need to try harder. And we've been that way ever since optometry started in this country. And we've been able to work together and become not only on projects and tasks and accomplishments and legislation, but we've become friends over that long period of time. And I wanted to just share two examples of that. We have a member of our Sacramento Valley Society, Sheila Titus, who's here at Opto West. She's not in this room right now. Oh, maybe 2 months ago at our Optometric Society meeting, our speaker went a little shorter, so we had half an hour, 40 minutes left, and Sheila, Dr. Titus stood up and said, gee, can we just kind of go around, and there were probably 50 members, 60 members there, can we go around and just kind of share a little bit about ourselves? And we did. Each one kind of got up. We learned a great deal about each other and what their interests were and where they came from. And many of these people we've known for a very long time, and it really deepened our bond. In fact, I was at a House of Delegates, I believe it was in Long Beach. This was 25 years ago. And I was able to share with the group that, you know, these things endure over time, because my friend and colleague, Dr. Tom Swanson, in our society, and I shared a room back in those early days when he got the call from his wife that she was going into labor, and he was out of there. But you know, those kind of things, we have that privilege of sharing those kind of friendships and those relationships over time. And the second example I want to share is that you may or may not know this, but we have two doctors here at House of Delegates who actually 7 years ago, their very first meeting each other was here at House of Delegates. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Jean Chang and Dr. Mei Louie. They happen to stand up. Thank you. What a wonderful story. Some really good things come out of House of Delegates.
And the child.
My second priority is Senate Bill 492. We will continue the wonderful momentum that we have. Under my watch, we'll have everything continue to be in place to be able to move forward with this. So we have to remember, we have to always remember that we are a legislative profession. The ability to practice today and into the future depends on those decisions that are made at the Capitol. So we need to have that constant interaction, advocacy for our profession. And I'd like to, the words I'm about to say will actually echo Dr. Munson in his AOA presentation. I too want to acknowledge are those that have been so instrumental in this forward momentum. Certainly, Dr. Ed Hernandez, we think the world of Dr. Hernandez, and his being able to advocate for our profession is a wonderfully unique opportunity. So thank you, Dr. Hernandez. I would like to acknowledge my friend, Dr. David Redmond, and everything he has done for the Ledge Committee. And we need to remember, too, that this is not his first time. He took us all the way through the glaucoma registration. He was there for us each and every day that was needed, and he's doing that again today as the chair of our Ledge Committee. And I'd like to recognize our immediate past president, Dr. Dubik, who has been an incredible advocate for us. If there were an opportunity to select who is it that we want to be able to negotiate and be a part of that team, for a person having their agenda be the COA agenda, that their desire for our profession, for COA, and for our legislation, Dr. Dubik has been a wonderful representative and advocate for us, and he will continue to be doing that. Of course, needless to say, I'm not changing horses in the middle of the stream at all. This has been a wonderful effort. And I want to acknowledge our Ledge Committee, our entire Ledge Committee, our COA staff, and our excellent lobbyists you heard from Cliff Berg this morning, and Terry McHale, as we continue to move forward. And somebody I would like to recognize, he's not here, he was not able to be here, and gave his regrets, is Dr. Lee Goldstein. Dr. Goldstein is stepping off the Ledge Committee this year, and as many of you know, he's a past COA president, past Ledge Committee chair, past president of the State Board of Optometry, and a longtime advocate for our legislative efforts. So if we can just give a round of applause and thanks to Dr. Goldstein. And last but not least is I want to acknowledge you, the members, for your efforts in our legislative work. It is key, as has been said earlier, you are the key, that presence, the grassroots, your local legislators. We have had an outstanding attendance at our local legislative days. We've had 2 of those in the past 6 months. And with your help, we'll continue to build that connection. COA staff should be acknowledged for their having coordinated all of these things. So if you haven't been to a local Ledge Day, I strongly encourage you to be a part of that. It's a matter that you're not going to the Capitol, but going to your legislator's district office. So it means that you can take a long lunch hour, take an extra hour at lunch or 2, go with your colleagues, be there, represent your profession. It's a very great way to get started, and very effective. We had a tremendous response and a tremendous result from these efforts. And then again, I also will echo others to invite you to our Sacramento Legislative Day on May 13th. It's an extremely important conference, and it's an extremely important time. This is where everything is lining up. I would love for each of you to be there. Please consider that a personal invitation. Just in summary for 492, there's a little bigger picture here too. Each of the steps of the way COA has shown up at the Capitol in an extremely positive way. We have enjoyed over the years a very high reputation among the legislature. That has done nothing but increase over our efforts with 492. So not only are we looking at 492 and what it will do for our profession and our patients, but it actually is setting the stage, setting the tone for the next several years in terms of how we go about things. We are the common sense people. We are the ones that advocate for our patients. We're the ones that are able to take things forward that will benefit our state. Number 3, and again, maybe that's what happens when you're the last one to speak at a meeting. I'm echoing what has already been said by others. But number 3 is that we must become glaucoma certified. We must begin treating glaucoma. We need to be able to demonstrate that we are already doing what we've been allowed to do. You can't ask to do more without being at the highest level of our practice. I shouldn't say many, but there are new panels that are beginning to form in terms of our access and being able to participate in medical eye care that are now beginning to require glaucoma certification. So that's another reason as well. And COA is committed to taking us to that. Certainly becoming certified. Many of you know, most of you probably know the avenues that can be done through our schools. And our Education and Clinical Practice Committee has determined that they will be offering in Monterey a glaucoma treatment implementation course. We've had the glaucoma certification courses now for several years, both in Monterey and here in Indian Wells. This will be a different phase. This will be, how do you get in there? How do you actually do this on a day-to-day basis? How do you apply these things so that we can actually begin treating? And then also, in addition to that, we have some doctors in our association, in our midst. We have many doctors who are treating glaucoma. We have those that have really dialed in on it. And the things that work day-to-day, like how do you train your staff to be able to assist you in these different kinds of things? How do you go about just in the scheduling, those kind of things, how they go about, what kind of choices they make, what kind of instrumentation they have in their office. We're going to be able to put that together with these tag teams of doctors in an internet format to be able to get this out to all of our local societies and members, to be able to demonstrate that, you know what, here are doctors that are in the trenches, they're here in California, they're one of us, they're able to do it, and gee, let's encourage others to be able to do that. My fourth priority is the development of our eye health fairs and screenings. And of course, this has been a topic this morning, or yesterday, and this afternoon. The eye health fairs, we've had two in the last several years. The first one in Castroville, the second one in Oak Park in Sacramento. These have been extremely successful. They have provided eye care to those in need. They have also positioned us to have the branding of COA out there in the public. And then we've also been able to work very closely with the local legislators there in each of these situations to really bring healthcare services to the legislators' community. So we look to expand that. We look to be able to do this in more areas, and I believe this is a wonderful opportunity for us. We also look to increase our cooperation and partnering with local societies in the whole area of vision and eye screenings on a local level. Just one of the issues that has come up is that as of January 1st of this year, there is legislation here in California that determines for a doctor to be covered with liability, that they need to be participating under a nonprofit organization. So CVF, and we've talked about the California Vision Project, the parent organization, California Vision Foundation, is such an organization. So anything done under their umbrella will provide liability for the doctors. So what we see is being able to encourage local societies to make it easier. All of us have gotten phone calls from somebody in the community saying, we're going to have a health fair in another month, can you join us? And so the question, of course, is how do we respond to that? And some societies have been able to do a great job. They have that all organized, and others may not have that. So I would actually I'm very happy to announce that we've received a very wonderful gift from VSP in providing resources to have all of the portable equipment that's needed for our eye health fairs, and also for our local screenings. All of this is portable. All of this is first top of the line. So it's an expenditure on the part of VSP of about $75,000. We'll have a full digital fundus camera, auto refractor, tonometers, 3 lanes of equipment, and this will allow us to do things, to be able to provide the full exams that we provide at our eye health fairs, but also to get this equipment into the hands of our doctors and the local societies, really in two ways. What we're wanting to emphasize at COA is we want to be at the forefront of what we are doing medically. Obviously, diabetes and glaucoma treatment are key. So we looked at being able to provide the slit lamp, the camera, and the tonometer in a way it'll be stored, it'll be kept at the COA office. It can be shipped within a day or two. And in that kind of a setting, it would only take a doctor and a tech, or a doctor and a spouse, or a doctor and a colleague, to be able to make some significant strides in terms of what we're seeking to do as an association, and being out there in the forefront of addressing and treating medical conditions, and to be able to educate these people who are in need of these services, to be able to show them what a fundus looks like, to be able to explain diabetic retinopathy, to be able to show them a photo of the optic nerve as we're screening for glaucoma with tonometry. The type of equipment we're looking at actually is the slit lamp I mentioned is a full-size slit lamp that is designed to be portable. So instead of a handheld, we'll have full access to this. So I would like to sincerely thank VSP for their generous provision for this equipment for what we're looking to do this next year. Could we just give them a